happy it's Monday, and the Vlog Brothers have discontinued the Nerdfighteria Sock Club. Gotta be honest with you, I didn't know the Nerdfighteria Sock Club even existed until, like, right now. But I'm still sad because it is always sad when a sock club gets discontinued. Always. I started going to ukulele lessons. Like, I'm not very good, and, like, I don't even have a ukulele that I can, like, even practice on in my free time. But, like, it is a thing that I'm doing. Just thought you should know. I've been listening to a lot of Britney Spears lately. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but honestly, I don't care, because Baby One More Time is a solid song, and it's also a scarily accurate representation of, like, all of Alexander Hamilton's letters to John Lawrence. Like, literally, all of them. I'm not exaggerating. You know what's terrible? The Winx Club fandom. Literally 98% of them are just so obnoxious, I want to just take them and just push them somewhere else. Like that one thing they did in SpongeBob. Like, that whole fandom just needs to just stop, collaborate, and listen, although unfortunately Ice will not be back with his brand new invention. For those not familiar with Winx Club, it's this Italian cartoon about fairies. It's like 7 seasons long. It's a solid show. It has a lot of times where it flounders, but it's overall alright. I would recommend watching it, although I do have to warn you that there's like 4 different English dubs, so you gotta get used to the voice cast switching around a lot. But anyway, it's an alright show, but don't interact with the fandom, because most of them are what. Basically, the fandom was like, oh, season 3 is the best season, and it was the last good season of the show, and everything after it we're gonna hate on principle. And okay, honestly, season 4 was just as good as all the seasons before it. I understand why people don't like season 5. It was kind of a train wreck in places. Season 6 had botched execution on a lot of things, but it had a lot of really good ideas and concepts that I don't think should just be ignored on principle. And season 7 was actually kind of on par with seasons 1 through 3, so I don't understand why it doesn't get appreciation. But people are like, oh, we're the original Winx fans who were watching the show when we were kids, so you can't disagree with our opinions, because, you know, why would the show evolve and continue to be for children? Because I'm not a child anymore, and I was a child when the show was first on, so the show should automatically be catered toward my age demographic, even though I'm not a kid anymore. Because, you know, that makes perfect sense. So, like, season 8 of the show has not even, like, actually happened yet. But it looks like in season 8 there's going to be a big, like, switch in the character design and art design of the entire show. And we have literally only seen, like, 11 seconds of actual animation in this new style. And automatically the fandom's just like, you know what? Season 8's gonna suck. We're just gonna hate it. Even though we've only seen 11 seconds of animation. Oh my god! Everyone keeps getting upset about, like, all of the retcons that happen in the later seasons. And, like, honestly, yeah, some of them made me angry too. But, like, this show has never had a consistent canon. Even back in the early episodes, everything was ridiculously unclear and nothing made sense. Go back and watch the first season. But then, the Winx Club has a spin-off show called World of Winx that was released on Netflix, and it's supposed to have, like, a more darker, adult tone. It honestly doesn't. It's not that dark. But anyway, everybody's like, oh, this spin-off is so much greater than the original show. We should just make the spin-off the main show from now on. And everyone's just completely ignoring the fact that the spin-off absolutely doesn't fit with the supposed canon at all and has all sorts of retcons in it and actually significantly screws up the characterization of several of the characters and is basically an alternate universe, but it's okay because it's a spin-off. But when the actual main show tries to reboot something, oh god, we're all gonna die. The fandom has latched onto these 3 particular characters that they hate and that they, like, blame for the downfall of the show, but their complaints about them are the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. So Two of the characters, the main complaints with them is that their character arcs over time have gotten really boring and contrived, and, like, I can understand that. But then one of them, people also complained that the show spends way too much time focusing on them and their character arcs and stuff, but, like, Bloom's the main character. Of course, they're going to focus on her. What is happening? And then the other character that the fandom really hates for some reason is this guy. And, like, their whole complaint about him is that, like, he's a jerk and he's rude to his girlfriend. And his girlfriend, he doesn't really in love with his girlfriend or whatever, but, and something stupid like that. But the whole point of this guy is that he starts off as a jerk. And then once he falls in love with Aisha, he, like, stops being a jerk because she won't tolerate his crap. Like, it was literally right in front of your face. Did you just not watch, like, all of the episodes where any of that happened? Am I in the Twilight Zone? The fandom also likes to really idolize these two characters, and they have both left the show. And people keep complaining that the writers should bring these characters back. They're the best characters in the entire thing. But, like, one of them died, like, 3 seasons ago. I don't think he's coming back. Another thing is that, the blue-haired guy that they think is a jerk or whatever, his name is Nex. And then the purple-haired guy that has left the show but they want him to come back, his name is Riven. Like, the fandom will always call Nex, like, a clone of Riven or, like, a Riven replacement, and they will literally refer to him as Riven 2.0, and that's supposed to be a derogatory statement. But the fandom likes Riven? What? Who? What is logic? Not to mention that this dude, Riven, is extremely possessive and emotionally abusive of his girlfriend, Musa, but the fandom still, like, really ships them. But in season 6, they broke up and Riven left the show, and the fandom was devastated and nothing would ever be the same for them. But I thought this was actually a really cool thing that the show did. I thought they were trying to teach their young audience, most of whom are very young girls, that, you know, if you are in an abusive relationship or if you're in a relationship where you're just constantly fighting and it's just not right, you should be allowed to just leave that for you, not because of other people's obligations or because you feel like you need to. You should just be allowed to leave that situation if you want to. I thought the show was doing a really cool thing. But it looks like Riven is gonna be returning in season 8. John Lawrence and his turtle drawings. They're great. So basically, this guy, John Lawrence, lieutenant colonel in the Revolutionary War, he was anti-slavery, which is really cool. He was played by this guy in Hamilton. He was probably gay and in love with Alexander Hamilton, but he was taught by his society, his religion, and his emotionally abusive father that homosexuality was sinful and terrible, which led to him hating himself and becoming quite depressed and suicidal. Yeah, that guy. When John Lawrence was a kid, he really, really liked nature, especially animals. Pretty much all the animals, but especially horses and cows. I might be remembering this wrong, but I think, like, one time, there was this guy that he knew who was planning to, like, use his cow for, like, beef and kill it or something. Lawrence asked this guy to send him his cow so that he could use it as a dairy cow instead. I guess so it wouldn't have to die. Like I said, I might be remembering that wrong, or I just had no idea what the fuck I was reading, but, like, what are you doing, John? He also really liked art and drawing, and he was, like, a really good painter. Like, much better than me. I can't paint, okay? I can, like, almost draw, but I can't paint. I just can't. As you can tell, Lawrence, most of his paintings were on, like, plants and stuff, but he also drew animals pretty frequently as well. Apparently, he was really bad at drawing human heads and faces, so, like, the one recorded thing of him that we actually have where he, like, drew a human, instead of actually drawing the dude's head, he just, like, left a scribble where his neck was, and, like, honestly, I have never heard a historical or whatever fact that I have ever related to more in my entire life. That's, like, the definitive artist mood right there. When Lawrence was, like, 16 or 17 or something, there was, like, this family friend guy, I think he was, like, friends with Lawrence's father or something. His name's Alexander Garden, and Alexander Garden has this pet turtle, and he's like, yo, John, I know that you're, like, really good at art and stuff, and I'm, like, writing a thing about my turtle for this magazine, so can you, like, draw some art of the turtle for me, please? And so we get these beautiful drawings. I love them so much. And apparently John, like, really liked the turtle, too. Like, there's records of him and Alexander Garden's daughters trying to get the turtle to eat food, but the turtle wasn't taking any of it, and John was just, like, so sad. I like to imagine that John just goes up to his emotionally abusive dad, and he's like, oh my god, father, Mr. Garden's turtle is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I just want to draw it forever. You don't understand. And then his dad's like, well, I mean, it's nice that you like this turtle or whatever, but, like, you're becoming a lawyer, so, sorry. And then John's like, well, it's kind of my life, right? And, like, if I want to spend my life drawing pictures of this precious turtle boy, like, I should be allowed to do that. And then Henry is just like, oh my god, John, if you do not become a lawyer, I will disown you from this freaking family. And then John's like, but Dad, have you seen that turtle? But you know what's even better than John Lawrence and his turtles? Alexander Hamilton's unicorn. So Hamilton, unlike his best friend / gay lover Lawrence, has absolutely zero artistic ability whatsoever. And yet, we have in existence this drawing of his, of a unicorn that's just, not very good. I'm sorry, Alex, but I can't lie to you. I don't know if Lawrence ever got to see this drawing, but if he did, I sincerely hope that he never let Alex live it down. Will I ever stop obsessing over and researching the relationship between Hamilton and Lawrence? No. Abby, I'll see you on Friday.